way that men act when they are decentered from women's lives needs to be studied, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And if you're wondering who this nameless, irrelevant group of losers is behind me, it's their husbands. And you don't need to have seen the show to follow along with the analysis, but I thought this recent season was pretty good. I think it shows a lot of what I talk about as far as gender dynamics go, so feel free to stick around for that. Let me tell you how men are going to act when you center yourself and find success and reward within that, using examples of what these men have done throughout the show. Option number one, they will try to take off your skin and wear it. And when they can't do that, they're going to try and sabotage you at any motherfucking cost. That's exactly what Dakota has been trying to do to Taylor. He has been trying ever since her divorce and the whole swinging/cheating stuff came out about her. He seemed to swoop in like a white knight, and they almost immediately started dating. And he was so good with her kids, and he was just so sweet, so obsessed with her, so in love with her. And that's because he wanted the favor of her TikTok audience on his side. But really, he had a very diabolical plan, which I'm going to have to make a whole separate video about Taylor and Dakota, all the ways that he has tried to sabotage her. But he wants to pull her back in, digmatize her, love bomb her, and then once again try to sabotage her and tear her down from the throne, because he thinks that if he does that, if he can just break her enough, he'll be able to find like a crack in her demeanor to suck her soul out of and then become her. Like, I swear to God. He wanted to become centered in her life. That's why he got her pregnant, started like cheating on her and like all that stuff, because he knew what he was doing. I'll do a whole video about him, so keep an eye out on that. Jesse's husband, Jordan, who really thought he was going to get to be the victim and hide behind her affair when he had been abusing her for years, because he's resentful of the fact that she's the breadwinner. He's resentful of the fact that he's the stay-at-home dad. Therefore, in his mind, he gets to psychologically, emotionally, and mentally torture, terrorize, and manipulate her. Tell her that she's a bad mom, she's a bad wife, she's a bad housekeeper, etc. Meanwhile, he literally wouldn't have any of the things that he has if it weren't for her money. Even though a lot of men would be like, oh, motherhood is the most important job in the world, da da da. When they have to do it, for some reason, they feel emasculated. They feel angry, upset, weak, decentered. They take it out on the women that provide them the opportunity to spend time with their kids, which is an opportunity that most men don't have, that most men pretend to be really upset about. Oh, if I could switch places with my wife, I totally could. And yet, inexplicably, every single time they have that option, they don't want to take it. When they're forced into stay-at-home fatherhood, they cannot handle it. They really hate it. And they still want to be the center of your life. Even though you've got so much other shit going on for you, you literally own a hair salon, you're opening up a hair school, coming up with products, you're still doing TikTok, and this man doesn't care. Every time you get home, he's going to be up your ass about something. He's going to be like, you did the laundry wrong, you spoke to the kids wrong, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. Throughout the show, she still talks about like picking up the kids and like doing this and that. So she's not even placing the full burden on him, but he still is so resentful, jealous, and bitter. Which also brings me to Zach. Zach is the same exact way. A lot of these men are learning very subtle ways to be abusive and to center themselves in your life. Much like Zach, he acts very supportive. He acts like he's a changed man or whatever, but the reality is he just did the calculations and he realized he would be really stupid to fuck any of this up for Jen. The reason he came back and is now acting like he's wrapped around her little finger is because she took some time off of mom talk and the brand deals and whatever, and she let things crumble. And he immediately was like, oh, well, no, this won't work. And he probably did the math and he probably realized that even him going to school, becoming a doctor, etc., whatever, is just never going to be as fulfilling and luxurious of a lifestyle as his wife is able to provide. He's basically gotten very subtle about it. I think that his plan to get her pregnant and sit her ass down really backfired on him when she got pregnant and sat her ass down. And he was like, oh, no, this won't do. I'm ready to support you. I'm ready to do whatever you need. Yeah, let me think about going back to medical school. Yeah, he's never going to do that. And if he does, it'll just be for show, just to like prove a point. Of course, we can't forget about Jace, the fucking groomer, literally impregnated a 16-year-old when he was 21, has gotten her pregnant 3 times since, and now won't stop sulking, bitching, whining, complaining, and acting like a fucking loser because she doesn't want to fuck him 3 times a day. She has 3 kids, all these obligations. She's filming a reality show. She's pregnant. Halfway there, and all this man can think about is how he would have sex 3 times a day if he could, and like he just really wants to help her get over her like vulnerability issues so that he can have sex with her 3 times a day. Of course he feels that way. He doesn't have a job. The only 2 men I really don't have that much information on to say that they are purposely like sabotaging or jealous or resentful or anything like that is this dude, because he shuts the fuck up and I like that. This dude, which I know he has been found on Grindr before. And so I just think he's been real quiet since that, because I think he would have been more diabolical if that information hadn't come out. He's not going to rock that boat. Something tells me that the dirt that Whitney really has on him, he would never live down. And so he's supportive. He's got his pom-poms. He's got the triple decker stroller, and he's just going to act very supportive. And this dude, like, you can just tell he's kind of scared of Macy, like, but he's also scared of the dudes. Like, doesn't even know what to do with himself. Like, he wants to be liked by the men and he wants to be liked by Macy. He's just kind of boring and doesn't have much to offer. He gives me very neutral vibes. Chase is not in this photo, but Chase is also one of those men that cannot stand being decentered. Like every time they kick him out of the group, he finds some way to come back. Now he has a podcast where he's discussing all their business and he's not even in mom talk or dad talk. Like he's not in either one of these groups. And he has a whole podcast where he discusses everybody's business. Like when I tell you, men hate being decentered because they're clout chasers and they love privilege. They don't like working hard. So when they feel decentered, they literally feel the privilege of leaving their body and it makes them mad. And all they want to do is just get it back by any means. And the only way that they're going to learn is the hard way. So whenever you see a man acting like right, especially one of these men, just know that they learned it the hard way. Please stay safe out there. I love you so much. Godspeed. Mwah.